Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching African World Cup qualifying. My goodness, what a day we had last night, Rahi. Incredible. We're going to cover all that right now. We're going to get into it, my friend. There you are. The Nigeria jersey is out. We don't have a DR Congo, but that jersey could be out too. It was wild. It was wild, but we're going to start off with Nigeria. And this is what happened with them. It was a wild match that went in extra time. And of course, they got the job done against Gabon, Rahi. Wow. What a match.
Man, why do you do this, Super Eagles? Why do you make this so difficult on every single fan that's watching you? My goodness, it's never a simple story. It's never an easy story. The minute you think, okay, you can breathe, you can relax for a second, then they remind you, no, more drama. More drama, more drama, more drama. That's what Nigeria has been this entire qualification. You thought after going up 1-0, okay, they got the goal they needed. That's it, right? Taking advantage of a mistake from Gabon. But no, you concede the goal 1-1. Osimhen misses the one-on-one. The worst miss he's ever missed in his entire life. And you think, my God, it's going to happen again. They're going to lose a big game. But then extra time, they did it. It all came together for the first time, probably the best time. That was the best 30 minutes they've played under Eric Chelle. It was incredible. Maybe the best 30 minutes they've played in like 3 years, man, as a team. And finally, they looked like the Super Eagles saw.
Yes. I got to give credit to, and I may be butchering his name, but Ejuke, Ejuke, what a match he had. He had a phenomenal match. And of course, Victor Osimhen was basically like, it was like a redemption tour, basically, after the last miss. Extra time was basically like, it was like two movies. It was like the movie number one, Victor Osimhen, not so good. But it was part one. That was during regulation. And then during extra time, he was a man on a mission.
He was a different man. I mean, that moment, that miss, if Nigeria didn't end up winning this game, that miss would forever live in infamy. It would be the moment that he constantly remembers because he was one-on-one. There was only green space in front of him. The goalie was the only thing to beat. And boy, did he mess that one up. And that's not like Osimhen. And that was a very, very, very strange moment. But it almost motivated him. And you have to give him a ton of credit because the first finish in extra time to make it 3-1 is a great finish. But that fourth goal, my goodness, that is a man on a mission. That is a solo effort that you could only see from very few players in the world. That is a guy who wanted to put Nigeria on his back and qualify. Also make up for that mistake earlier. But what a game, man.
It was a crazy game. Let's talk about Gabon a little bit and get, because it was a very back and forth match. I felt like Nigeria started off very strong in the first half. And then there was a period of time in the second half where I thought before Nigeria got the goal, actually Gabon was on the front foot.
Yeah. I think that when they did counter, Gabon looked dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Aubameyang was looking good at times. Bouanga on the other side was there as well. And then, of course, Lamina getting the goal that, to be honest, they deserved for their effort. You'd have to feel hard done if you're Gabon because conceding that goal off a terrible mistake by the defender, you'd feel really bad because Gabon has been so good throughout this entire qualification process. They were good in this game. They played Nigeria well. Yeah. And the goal, they deserved that moment. Give all the credit in the world to Gabon because they fought toe and toe, right?
Yeah.
And then in extra time, you saw that Nigeria were the better team, and they showed that. But you have to give credit to Gabon.
You have to give credit to Gabon, and I think like I said, or like you said, I should say. I think in extra time, I saw Gabon. I think that, I don't know if they're tired or they just they may have just like lost the energy that they had. You saw a drop off for sure in extra time. Yeah. I want to talk about one play, which is obviously. Everyone's kind of talking about this situation. So what happened in this for what I want to talk about is it was a situation where VAR called the ref over. He looked at the call and he kept his original decision. And now a lot of fans out there are saying that was a penalty because there was a jersey tug, whatever. What I'm saying is the call on the field was no penalty. He looked at it and said, was there enough to overturn what decision I made? He said no, and he kept his decision. 99% of the times when VAR calls these guys over, they do this and they're like penalty immediately.
Yeah, I know in the moment as a fan, you want this. It's going to VAR. It should be a penalty. But as an observer, as you have to say that you respect the referee, right? For making a decision that looked right in real time. And then, yes, the replay, when you slow it down, it looked like maybe there was a tug, but he got it right. And the more important thing is he trusted his judgment. And I think that's crucial. He didn't see anything on the monitor that said, you have to change your mind. Then you should go with your initial judgment. And I think we have to give the referee a lot of credit. I thought he was good today. And that was a big call, and it was the right call.
Yeah. And that's one thing I want to kind of emphasize. I think in football, when you have these decisions that are like this, right? And VAR calls you over, and then some people look at it very like nitpicky in the sense that, okay, was there a tug? You saw there was a little bit of a tug, but there was a lot of questions with that. Would the player have reached the ball? Was it enough of a tug? Was it slightly embellished? Did it materially affect the play in a way that was going to make a difference? Because a lot of times you see a slight tug, but he kind of at the end lets go a little bit, and it's a very harsh call to make either way.
Yeah. I think it's the right call.
Yeah.
The other thing I think we have to talk about a little bit is the goalkeeping for Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's really a soft spot. I don't know that Nobili was at fault for the goal because of the deflection, but there were times he looked shaky.
Yeah.
And that's got to be a real area of concern for Nigeria, I think.
Yeah, but it's been a situation that they've known for the whole campaign. But I actually felt relatively, yes, with Stanley Nobili, you're going to get some shaky moments during the match. Yeah. You just have to. There was one where Aubameyang almost tackled him and it almost went in the goal. By that time, they were up, but still. You just kind of got to deal with that, I feel like. But now, let's quickly touch on the next match, and then we'll come back to this particular match, because we thought we were going to end up with the marquee matchup, the Cameroon versus Nigeria. And just like Cameroon's entire World Cup qualifying campaign, DR Congo, Mr. Mbemba, very appropriate that he got the strike, smashes home, smash and grab. DR Congo takes the game and says, look, we are here too.
Yeah, and as you said, Cameroon, this has been the story the entire qualification. They cannot find the goals when they need to find the goals. They create some chances, and they don't finish them off, and then they concede. The game against Cape Verde, very, very similar, right? In the end, they're not very strong defensively. You can't give up a goal from a set piece that late. Of course, there are questions about Onana as well. I don't know if he was at fault for the goal, but in the end, it's just not good enough from a Cameroon team that has talent all over the field. But this is typical. They lost 1-0 to Cape Verde. They lose 1-0 now to DR. It's just the same old story for Cameroon. And give credit to DR Congo. They defended well enough. Yeah. And then they took advantage of the moment when they needed to. You have to say, deserved in some ways.
Yeah, and without, one of their most marquee players, Wissa is not there, of course, injured. So this team has performed well throughout the campaign, right? They got a little unfortunate in that match against Senegal. They were up, 2-0. Right? They were up 2-0, and then they let it fall away. And so this team has been solid throughout the campaign. Cameroon was solid at the beginning part of the campaign and has been pretty poor throughout the rest of the campaign. And it's kind of how what happened in this match was kind of, again, a microcosm of what happened. And I think Cameroon deservedly, based on how this campaign went, is deservedly not going to the World Cup. It's crazy to think that, in a 48-team World Cup, Cameroon is not going to make it.
Yeah, but they went out with the whimper. They didn't go out swinging the way you would hope. Yeah. They created some chances, but not in the way you want. When you're fighting for your World Cup life, you want to go all systems go for it. And it was really underwhelming if you're an Indomitable Lions fan. It just never felt like it was there.
Yeah, and DR Congo, in that moment, right, they could easily have kind of taken the foot off the gas. You're almost in extra time at that point in time. but they made the play that needed to be made and a fantastic finish. It was a gorgeous
Fantastic finish, and that's
Yeah.
the blueprint they're going to employ against Nigeria as well, right? Nigeria is going to have to convert their chances. If they do not, DR Congo is always threatening on the break, can always find a goal. So it's exactly the way the setup is going to be, and Nigeria has to be a lot better than Cameroon at creating and then converting chances. Of course, they have a man by the name of Victors Osimhen, the masked man himself,
Yes.
but don't underestimate DR Congo.
All right. So here it is. It's all coming down to this marquee match. It's Nigeria versus DR Congo for the Inter Confederation Playoffs. That's what's at stake here. And of course, that is coming up in a few days on Sunday. What is the key to this match?
The key, to be honest, is going to be how Nigeria defends. They defended a little better, I think, against Gabon. They didn't give up some of those chances, but then in the late stage of this game, of course, conceding to make it 1-1, you can't, at that point when you're up 1-0 and you're trying to fight for the World Cup, you have to be more compact. And to me, that's going to be the story, because if Nigeria makes mistakes in the back, if Chidera Ejuke makes mistakes, if the goalkeeping lets them down, DR Congo can find a way to get a goal, and then it becomes dicey, right? Then the pressure's on. You have to try and score. An early goal will definitely help Nigeria, but not conceding is the biggest thing. And that's the struggle, and it has been for Nigeria.
Yeah, I know. And of course, I think you mentioned the defenders. They obviously bring people like Chidera Ejuke later when they want to, solidify things or what have you. But you're right. I think across the board, even whether they're starters or coming in, they need to be better. The midfielders also. I think the midfielders need to not be giving the ball away as much as they are, right? I mean, like Iwobi did a lot of great work today, a lot of running. Some of the other guys in the midfield did a lot of good stuff. But so whenever you make these passes that are errant passes that go to the other team, that's where a team like DR Congo is going to take advantage. And that stuff Nigeria has to cut out if they're going to get through.
100%.
Yeah.
And Didi was good today as well.
Yes,
I thought there were good performances. Chukwueze a little quiet, but across the board, some more solidity in the midfield.
Yeah. So this is it. This is it. Let me show the graphic again. This is how it all finishes off on the 16th of November. This is not for the World Cup, but it is for a gigantic next step to make the Inter Confederation Playoffs.
It's huge, right? It's huge considering where Nigeria was at the beginning of qualifying, considering where they've been for the past few months. We thought it was dead and gone. I took off this jersey. I threw it away because I thought it was finished, and they still have a chance. And if you're DR Congo, you still have a chance. You've had some great performances. You did it this game without your best player, and you have to like your chances if you're Nigeria or DR Congo. If you make this playoff, you're going to get teams. We don't know how it's going to shake out. There's a New Caledonia in there. There's potentially teams from, North America. It could be a Haiti, could be a Curacao in there, right? There's all these possibilities of teams that you think you could beat.
Yeah, you got to like your chances if you get through. So for you fans of the Super Eagles or your fans of DR Congo, it all comes down to this particular match. We will cover it after, and we will be there. For those of you enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. Rahi, you want to say something?
We shall see. One more game for one of the most miraculous comebacks for the Super Eagles. If they do this, wow. And DR Congo could be a big, big moment for this country.